We're being siloed into a bubble. Our likes empower the algorithm. It feeds us what we want, to keep us engaged. It wants to sell our attention. We slip deeper into a constraining narrative. But we must break free. We must burst the bubble. Truths will be learned. Cognitive dissonance will make our hearts and heads ache. Different perspectives will bring us wisdom. Some truths will be hilarious, others painful. But we must be free. We must break into the DisAlgorithm.
Alright, welcome to the DisAlgorithm. It's Monday. It's June 7th. It's early in the morning. Want to get on here and go through my feed. Oh man. Look at this. Both found to be not guilty in the same week. Go back to sleep. Wow. So what they're saying is there's no Epstein client list. They're saying that he didn't traffic to anyone, him or Ghislaine just trafficked to Epstein, and it was this all Epstein, and he killed himself. So that's it, and it's done with, and don't pay attention to it anymore. That's what the DOJ is telling us now. So I'm pretty pissed about that. We all know what that was. Epstein had a an island in the Bahamas, I believe it's Bahamas, Little St. James, and he would fly high-end clientele, politicians, royalty, celebrities to his island, and he would procure young women and children for them, and he would record them and have blackmail on them. And he was most likely Mossad, and he was also working with CIA. The CIA was allowing him to do his work, and they were all using, Mossad and CIA were using that blackmail to control politicians. And it seems like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have just become part of the swamp now. And Pam Bondi, she's always been part of the swamp. She hasn't done anything. I mean, Trump keeps on telling us she's so great and wonderful. I haven't seen anything. All I've seen is her going after patriots and lying all the time. So I don't know. Yeah, she just a couple months ago was saying that she had thousands of hours of videotapes to go through of Jeffrey Epstein with underage or with children, and I guess she was saying it was exclusively Jeffrey Epstein. But we all know that Prince Andrew was caught up in this. We all know there was victims. They don't seem to be around anymore. And they told a way different story than what the DOJ is telling us. And we've been hearing about I first heard about this on Coast to Coast. And this was probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. But Alex Jones was on Coast to Coast, and he was saying, yeah, they got an island. They call it Pedo Island, and they take all kinds of children there and do satanic rituals and and have sex, and it's all blackmail for the elite to blackmail each other. And you aren't part of the big boy club unless you're blackmailed, and they have this over you, and then they feed you whatever indulgences you like, and they force you to do something this severe, some kind of murder, some kind of child thing, so to get leverage on you, so that they have control, and you aren't part of the club unless you do that, and you aren't allowed to go up in the ranks as far as celebrity or politician unless they got this blackmail on you. And I was hoping, because of how badly that they have been attacking Trump, that he wasn't part of that. But now that I see his DOJ denying all this, I mean, it makes me wonder. So, and we've all seen the pictures with him with Epstein, and we hear the stories that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he found out about the underage girl, or he was being inappropriate with an underage woman or underage girl, and something like that. So we've heard that story, but maybe it's just, he's just one of the club, because he always was before, and then they all turned on him as soon as he ran for president as Republican, so against Hillary. So I don't know what to believe anymore, but I know the DOJ is lying. They're always lying. CIA, FBI, they're always lying. So it doesn't look like we're going to be getting justice. It doesn't look like any of these victims are going to be getting justice. It doesn't look like, it looks like, the same disgusting people that did all those things are just going to keep on getting away with it, and we're going to be ruled by them, it seems like, because I don't see a big enough pushback with all this to make me optimistic. All I see is more and more cover up, and people just going along with it. So we'll take a more look at my feed here. Can you believe we the people put up with such cartoon level lies? Jeffrey Epstein jail, CCTV erased by technical errors. Surveillance video from disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein's first suspected suicide attempt was destroyed by accident, prosecutors say. Yeah. Oh no. Now they didn't exist. Oops, we accidentally hit the erase button. We actually hit the erase attempted suicide video button. That's our bad. Our bad, I should say. Charlie Kirk is doing an entire opening monologue explaining how high-level corporate leaders are pushing President Trump to sign a bipartisan mass amnesty deal focusing on agriculture. Heck no. Man, they better not. Corporations shamelessly want their slave labor. Big surprise. Economy sucks with the tariffs disaster. Neither this foreign wars will continue. No Epstein files. Amnesty deals for illegals. Trump is asking MAGA to bend over and like it. Seems like that. And Trump is a taco, so we know this was such a paper tiger. Oh, I still don't get the taco thing. Someone please in the comments explain the taco thing to me. I don't know. I got like 3 people watching my channel, so do any of you guys know? Democrats are begging for a violent uprising against the federal government. I thought doing this was a threat to democracy. What we're hearing, grassroots once more. Some of what they suggested, what we really need to do is to be willing to get shot when visiting ICE facilities or federal agencies, a third House Democrat told Axios. Willing to get shot. Okay, so they're just trying to up the ante more and more. Trying to get more crazy people to get out there and do something crazy. ICE just arrested Mexican national Cesar Ricardo Rodriguez Villarreal, who's wanted for homicide and kidnapping. These are the people Democrats want to protect. Yep, he's just a family man. He's just a... I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he is arrested. He's just a Colorado man, probably. Colorado family man. Like clockwork, Trump gets his deportation machine on steroids. And of course, Americans' last mobilisis. To protect its interests, MAGA needs to push back against this hard as possible. Would you be comfortable if schools reintroduced the Pledge of Allegiance? It was taken out totally? Are you serious? They don't do Pledge of Allegiance at all anymore? Wow. I mean, I'm sure I heard that before, but I didn't realize. Huh. It's just another one of those, you know, another one of those little things you hear. You're just like, oh, okay, they're transing kids in school, and oh, they took out the Pledge of Allegiance. That one kind of falls away. You're like, what the heck are they doing to kids?
The question isn't, are you a conspiracy theorist or are you not a conspiracy theorist? The question is, are you a conspiracy theorist or are you brain dead?
It's cinematic like a movie and it just don't change. I make you see the picture clearly like a baseball game.
The question isn't, are you a conspiracy theorist or are you not a conspiracy theorist? The question is, are you a conspiracy theorist or are you...
All right.
Sexually repressed.
What's the weirdest thing about conservatives?
They're all sexually repressed.
What do you mean by that?
They like to pretend that they don't want to, but then they their wives, their husbands, and their mistresses behind everyone's backs, and then they like to pretend that they're virgins to the front.
Okay. All right. Last question for you. What's the weirdest thing about yourself?
I like being peed on.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that answer.
You asked me what is the weirdest thing about myself? I'm a femboy and I like people to pee on me.
What's the weirdest thing about conservatives?
Can we
They're all
not?
sexually repressed.
Flash flood. So there was warning about it, but I don't know. This flooding is crazy. Let's see. It says it's the best video of it yet.
Wow. Get over here too. That's a flash flood, 4 foot. Yep.
It's barely going over the road there, the bridge, and then
Juanita. Wow. Juanita, move back.
jeez, look at it all. Look how fast it's coming, man. Look at this. Look at all that.
back. Yeah. All right. Hunter, come back further.
I don't know why you got to be that close to look at it. It's crazy.
Holy crap. Light up.
Hmm. Horrible. I heard there's like 60 people dead. And there's a bunch of children from a bunch of girls from a Christian young women's camp or something that are missing. It's horrible. Last month, people in Texas took to social media to report this blue rain. Now, obviously, it isn't natural. A few weeks later, Texas suffers the worst flooding ever. Some unknown controlled entity is seriously screwing with the weather.
Got a motherfucking blue lake right here. How much would it take for you to drink that water? How much money? Got a motherfucking blue
Don't
lake
do that.
right here.
Yeah, we all know that they've been cloud seeding
We're
for
camping
decades,
in this beautiful state park.
and that they can control weather. And they've been doing that. They've been using it as a weapon since Vietnam. And they flooded the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The Ho Chi Minh Trail. And yeah, I don't know who would do this. I guess the deep state, but that's really horrible if that's true.
Publicly available. My name's Steve Jarvis. Do y'all want answers for what happened in Texas? You want answers? I have the answers. And you are going to have to do some research on how to get it. But there's your picture right there of Texas and the big flood. Okay? July 4th. And all those little girls missing, bless them. Bless their families. But I want to tell you, all of this flooding in Texas and Rainmaker has publicly available NOAA docs on their cloud seeding project. Everyone must start this investigation. If you want to know what happened, this is where you start. Everybody's showing all the flooding and everything. I'm giving you the documents, I'm telling you. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to the NOAA library, right? And you got to scroll down to the bottom of the page, but you'll see this is weather and climate collections. So you're going to scroll down to the bottom of that page there, and you're going to type in Texas. And what you're going to find is, you're going to find this, I've highlighted it here. You're going to find, and it'll tell you when they were seeding, okay? Because let's face it, folks, 30 foot of water in an hour at 4 a.m., people didn't have a chance. So when you get down here, what you're going to find out is it'll pull up a page like this, and you pull it up, and then it tells you the companies.
Huh. Dang. A young girl has been found alive after flooding dragged her 12 miles in Texas. This warrior was able to grab onto a tree and wait for the first responders. First responders keep praying. Aye. Sad, man. So these girls were rescued waiting at a fire station. No one knows their family. I'm sure they're trying to contact family, but sharing here just in case word of mouth moves faster.
Holy shit, this is crazy. Me? Wow.
That was that girl, I believe. Yeah. It's just crazy. Look, there's that. Those people were standing right there that we just saw that other video from. Seems like, anyways. Whoa. Alright. Yeah. So keep those people in your prayers. I can't imagine. You know, I think it's just odd that Texas was hit on July 4th. That seems like a message. I don't know. I don't call that an act of God. Let's see.
48 adults and 27 children. Covered 75 deceased bodies here in Kirk County, including
75.
48 adults and 27 children. Of this 48 adults and 27 children, 15 adults and 9 children are pending identification. At present, there are 10 campers from Camp Mystic unaccounted for and 1 counselor. We continue to offer our condolences to those affected. Reuniting the families remain our top priority here on this operation. Please note that Highway 39 of an Old Ingram Loop remains closed to the public. Other than those who live in that area would not be allowed out there. I will now turn it over to Senator Cruz. City Manager Dalton Rice.
Good morning, Dalton Rice, the city manager for the city of Kerrville. As everybody knows, we are working in conjunction with the city under a unified command response and again, a lot of devastation. Our hearts go out to the families and the victims. We want to continue to work together as a community. We love the media support on this to be able to communicate that message, communicate family, communicate togetherness, and we really appreciate all the support and helping us be able to do that. Search and rescue, as the sheriff said, search and rescue operations will continue today from Hunt in North Kerr County all the way to Canyon Lake in Comal County. Now, we're only focused on the Kerr County side, but we wanted to talk about that because from a linear from Hunt all the way to Comal County in a straight line distance is over 100 kilometers. This is a massive field that is happening. And again, this is unprecedented flood events. So we are still currently in the In the primary search phase, which is the rapid one, they are running it, we have different segments that are gridded out. Each one of those segments are taking anywhere between an hour to 3 hours, up to 2 kilometers for each segment. So what that means is they're running into a lot of technical challenges with terrain, with water, even potentially, with weather, in the rising fields. We've talked about this before. Volunteers stay out of the way, because if we start getting weather reports and all the other complications that are out there, we then have to pull off of those search and rescue missions to be able to communicate to those volunteers to get off, to make sure that they don't become victims themselves. Those operations involve 19 different local and state agencies, in addition to conducting primary and secondary searches. They will be conducting welfare checks on areas in North Kerr County impacted by power outages. And when we say search and rescue operations, that is boat, walking, on the ground, dogs, drones. Again, keep personal drones out of the air. Helicopters. We do have other assets that are continuing the search as well. As of present, KPUB, which is the Kerrville Public Utility Board, is reporting continued power outages between Hunt and Ingram along the South Fork of the Guadalupe River in Hunt. In the South Fork area, there are approximately 40 down power lines and significant infrastructure damage. KPUB has brought in additional utility personnel to help with restoration, but it's not possible at this time when the power is going to be restored. There are some substations along with those power lines that we are still trying to get access to, just from debris buildup or them being completely wiped out. So we do not have an estimated time on when those are going to be fixed. We continue to have substantial number of requests for volunteers, as I said before, and donation opportunities. We are asking those who want to volunteer to contact the Salvation Army in Kerrville by phone at 830-465-4797 or in person at 855 Hayes Street in Kerrville. Monetary donations can be made on the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country's website at www.communityfoundation.net. They have a Kerr County Relief Fund set up on that site. And I will now turn it over to the Mayor, Joe Herring.
Thank you for being here. I need to tell my community and those families who are waiting, this will be a rough week. Primary search continues, and we remain hopeful every foot, every mile, every bend of the river. Our work continues. You need to know that we have been blessed with help from the community, from the state, and the nation. We have trained experts who are helping in this effort. If you want to volunteer, it is important that you contact Kerrville Salvation Army and register. Dalton gave that number, but I'm going to give it again. 830-465-4797. We need focused and coordinated volunteers, not random people just showing up and doing what they do. We need to work together. As Dalton said, donations have been flowing in from around the world to the Community Foundation. Again, that website is communityfoundation.net. Please follow the City of Kerrville's Facebook page for updates. They're accurate. We take a lot of time to make sure we send out information that will be helpful, not only to residents, but those who are visiting. I've said this 100 times, and I will say it again. We need your prayers. We need your prayers. Thank you. And now, Senator Ted Cruz.
Texas is grieving right now. The pain, the shock of what has transpired these last few days has broken the heart of our state. As of yesterday, the confirmed death toll was 82, and those numbers are continuing to go up. The children, the little girls who were lost at Camp Mystic, that's every parent's nightmare. every mom and dad. Last week, we were picking up our daughter from camp here in Hunt. Our girls have gone to camp here for a decade. The Hill Country is an incredible part of Texas, part of the country. The natural beauty here is incredible. The camps that have raised generations of little girls and little boys and instilled character and love and faith are extraordinary institutions. And I'll tell you, the pain in our state, and it's every part of the state. You've got Texans from all over the state who were here celebrating the 4th of July. A week ago, this was a time of great celebration. You're dropping your little girl off at camp, your little boy off at camp. You're celebrating Independence Day. You know that your child is going to be swimming and canoes and horseback riding and doing archery and making lifetime friends. And then suddenly it turns to tragedy. With the last several days, I've spoken to multiple parents scared out of their mind. Do you know anything? Where is my daughter? There's still 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic that are unaccounted for. And the pain and agony of not knowing your child's whereabouts, it's the worst thing imaginable. But I want to say, in the face of all of this, it is simultaneously inspiring. Every time there's a tragedy, every time there's a natural disaster in Texas, Texans come together. Texas is a big state. We got 31 million people, and we have hurricanes, we have tornadoes, we have wildfires. Tragedies hit this state, natural disasters hit this state, and without fail, 100 out of 100 times when that happens, we see Texans coming together, helping each other, engaging in acts of heroism. There have been over 850 high water rescues since this flooding began. 850. You look at extraordinary stories of Eagle Scouts pulling campers out of harm's way. I was just hearing a story of one counselor whose head was right at the water holding up 2 mattresses with campers on those mattresses. That kind of courage, that kind of selflessness. And then there are the first responders. The local first responders, I want to thank every one of the first responders at the local level, at the city level, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level. In the first few hours of this flood, I was on the phone with Governor Abbott, was on the phone with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, was on the phone with Nim Kidd, the head of the Texas Department of Emergency Management, and then I called President Trump. I called President Trump. He was having dinner at the time. It was still early in what was transpiring. And I wanted him to know, I said, Mr. President, everything we're hearing right now, this appears to be bad, really bad. There may be a very significant loss of life unfolding right now in Texas. And I will tell you, the President said, Ted, anything Texas needs, the answer is yes. Whatever assets you need, whatever resources you need, yes, let us know, and we will provide everything. Within hours, we had helicopters, over a dozen helicopters in the air. National Guard, DPS, game wardens, Coast Guard, doing search and rescue, reaching down. We've all seen the videos of little girls being pulled up, hoisted out of harm's way. Incredible courage and heroism. Search and rescue is the first stage. But the process of coming together and rebuilding is going to take longer. And I will say to all the grieving families, to all of those who've gotten the worst news imaginable, that your little girl, she's gone. I will say for many of us, those are friends and neighbors who've lost children. Got multiple kids who go to school with my girls. The mayor asked for prayers. And I want to say thank you to the millions of Texans, to the millions of Americans, to the millions of people all over the world right now who are praying for Texas and praying for those parents. Going through this grief, it is going to take love. It is going to take friends and family embracing and hugging and holding them while they weep. And it's going to take the church. With every disaster, one of the things we see here in Texas is the church steps up and the church helps and the church feeds and clothes and comforts. This morning I met with a group of chaplains who've been going through the incredibly difficult process of talking to mom and dad after mom and dad who just lost the most precious person they ever knew. And those chaplains are just trying to love them and show God's love. So I want to say we will come through this. To those in the midst of grief right now, that might seem hard to fathom. But Texas will come through this. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to these gentlemen here who are working. They are not sleeping. They are working every day. Thank you to the families. Thank you to the Salvation Army. Thank you to everyone who is just reaching out and saying, how can I help? We will come through this, and we'll come through this together. Thank you.
Man, that's horrible. Alright. Let's pop the bubble. Let's go over to the DisAlgorithm. Check it out. See what the other side is saying. The creator of Ice Block app, which tracks ICE agents in real time, dares Donald Trump to arrest him. Come after me. Demonize me all you want. I'm not backing down. Dude. You're gonna get it, dude.
Josh, are you not concerned that the administration might come after you personally for the development of
Mafo, dude. Mafo.
I think whenever you push
Mess
back
around,
against
find
a
out.
regime that is purporting authoritarianism, pushing fascism, and subverting the rule of law and our
Fascism.
Constitution, if you push back,
We're upholding the law. What are you talking about?
you in some way, and I say, go ahead, come after me. You can demonize me all you want. You can demonize the app all you want. But the reality is, it's protected speech under the First Amendment. There's nothing illegal about creating this app, and there's nothing illegal about using the app.
Josh, are you not concerned that the administration might come after you personally for the development of this app?
Mafo, dude. Alright, what is this? It's too hard. If he joined us for our first official seminar, how about no? Let's see. Stopping Trump is a short-term solution. The long-term solution, and it will be more difficult, is fixing the educational system that has created so many people ignorant enough to vote for Trump. Oh my gosh. It's the education system that's radicalizing everyone to vote for, puppets like Biden and Obama. The flash flooding in Central Texas is absolutely heartbreaking. Michelle and I are praying for everyone who have lost a loved one or is waiting for news, especially the parents, and we're grateful for the first responders and rescue teams working around the clock. So Barack Obama and Michelle are praying. Good, if that's true. I want to see that. Dang, what the heck is this? Okay.
I was raped 3 times a day. I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And
there was no co-conspirators.
Not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again.
It was this Jeffrey.
Yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on. I have spent the
No
last
justice.
17 years
No
in
justice
my
for
own
these people at
prison
all.
for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was...
Regarding the flooding, GOP doesn't want you to fund the programs that predict these things, but they still want to blame the federal government for not predicting this. Doge has consequences. They did predict this. They said there was flash flooding, but it came in the middle of the night when people were, people were camping outside, man, in a campground. Or at a camp, I don't know. Let's not have this. We be quiet. The MAGA biblicals. Can you interpret this? Leviticus 19:33-34. Do not mistreat foreigner. Yeah. Doesn't mean you let everyone in your country. Bondi says the FBI has tens of thousands of Epstein videos. Now this is in March. And then April, Patel says they vanished. July, DOJ says no client list, no names, suicide, case closed. They had the tapes, now they have amnesia. Right, let's get to the following. Alright, MAGA, let's see. Biden won't release the Epstein list. Click. There is no Epstein list. That's not what we're saying, that's what the DOJ is saying. I'm going to repost that.
The tariffs are going to be the tariffs. I think
Donald Trump says the US is close to finalizing several trade deals and will notify other countries of their higher rates by his July 9th deadline. But it seems there will be a delay in the new duties taking effect. The US president spoke to reporters Sunday, with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick then jumping in to clarify the key date.
they're going to be tariffs. The tariffs are going to be the tariffs. I think we'll have most countries done by July 9th, yeah. Either a letter or a deal.
But they go into effect on August 1st. Tariffs go into effect August 1st, but the president is setting the rates and the deals right now.
In a later social media post, Trump said Washington would start delivering the tariff notification letters from Monday. Subsequently, he also rolled out a whole new policy, saying countries that aligned themselves with the BRICS group of developing nations, founded by Brazil, Russia, India and China, would be hit with an extra 10% levy. It wasn't immediately clear how that would affect ongoing talks. Only recently, Trump himself had mentioned India as among the nations likely to get a deal. On Sunday, one Indian news channel said the two sides were expected to make a decision on a mini-trade pact within the next 24 to 48 hours. Speaking on CNN earlier in the day, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said several big trade agreements would soon be announced. He said that talks with the EU, for one, had made big progress. Meanwhile, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett told CBS that there could be wiggle room for countries engaged in earnest negotiations. He said things could push back past the deadline, but Trump would decide.
Okay. Good. It's making deals. Alright. Texas flash flooding, worst case scenario, says former NOAA official. I just spoke with Coast Guard Petty Officer Scott Ruskin, who heroically saved 165 campers in Central Texas floods. Before choosing to serve, he was finance bro in New York. This is his first official rescue. Honestly, I'm mostly just a dude. I'm just doing a job. This is what I signed up for, and I think that any single Coast Guard rescue swimmer or any single Coast Guard pilot, flight mechanic, whoever it may be, would have done the exact same thing in our situation, he told me. That's what we are asked to do, and we're going to do. Any one of us. If anyone else was on duty that day, they would have done the same thing as us. We just happened to be the crew that got the case. Nice. Good job, dude. Trump dodges question on Texas flood, National Weather Service cuts. Sure. 3 killed as 13 hit in gun battle in Philly. Days after 8 other injured in another mass shooting. Philly is crazy. We just saw that the other day. I think it was an old video, but still, Philly is crazy. Let's see. Huh. 88-year-old Democrat keeps saying she's running for re-election, and her staff keeps walking it back. It's funny how like the staff and the politician kind of aren't on page. Like that happened a lot with Biden. Like Biden would say something, and then his staff would come out and say something else. And it's like there's people working around the politician that are making decisions. We need to put in term limits already on Congress, on all of them. You know, you can't be that old, man. Trump spent the weekend golfing and eating ice cream as children died in Texas flood. Yeah, it's all his fault, dude. CNN anchor reminisces about attending flooded Texas camp in a heartbreaking report. Alright, well, I ain't gonna go anywhere and look at that. Put it on here. There is no client list. There is no client list anymore. Alright, so basically the DisAlgorithm is saying that this flooding, the death toll is because Trump made cuts through Doge on the weather service monitoring. Yeah. So it's Trump's fault that people died at 4 a.m. So that's what the other side is saying. Oh, and this also. What was this all about? Yeah, it's phase 1. They released a bunch of stuff that we already knew, a bunch of files that we already had, and then redacted them. We had the unredacted files already. So they gave these people the redacted, like, less information than we already had. Yeah, it's theater. And then it says, she says, your president is, yeah, you all know it. So that's what the left is saying. Crash the economy, alienating allies, ethnically cleansing America, stealing from the poor to give to the rich. Why not love MAGA voters? Your racism should take you through this. Should take you through this? What's not to love about MAGA voters? Your racism should take you through this. Wait until you can't get medical care. Wow. Are you going to be bummed with yourselves? Okay. What? Fantastic Four headquarters listed on the Jenna Bush, Hager's mom, Laura Bush, worked as counselor at Camp Mystic, where recent floods have caused severe damage.
My mom was a counselor there, but also so many of my friends were raised at this camp. This camp was 100 years old. So grandmothers, mothers, kids have all gone there. My mom was a drama counselor there, but many of my friends were there, had their kids there last week. And the stories that I heard over the last couple days were beautiful and heartbreaking. And Texas has a type of resilience that where they're generous people, where people want to reach out and help. But yeah, Texas camps are really special because you're thinking about 90-degree weather, no air conditioning. So to send, my kids are at camp in Texas, and my husband said, why are we sending our kids to Texas to camp? It's hot. And it's because of the love that's there. My mom was a counselor there, but also so many of my friends were raised.
All right, let's see. Singer and actor Joshua Evans posted this calling to butcher Christians who voted for Trump. There are Christians who grew up fully embracing Jesus and his teachings, then turn around and vote for Trump and the Republican Party. These are the very people we were warned about growing up. Resist them. Call out their hypocrisy. Reject their hate. Make them uncomfortable with truth. Their lack of intelligence and understanding is most likely overshadowed with talk about God and faith. They are the definition of all talk and no walk. Really? It says butcher them. Yeah. Why would he phrase it like that? What is his point here, man? Why would he say that? I mean, I get all this first part, but why would he end it like that? This is psychotic, man. Jim Acosta, Joy Reid openly float conspiracy theory that Trump will rig 2026 midterms. A suspect is dead after opening fire at entrance of the Border Patrol sector annex, McAllen, Texas, Monday morning, authorities say. Well, isn't that what they were calling for? They said be willing to be shot.
A man has been shot and killed after opening fire at a U.S. Border Patrol facility
That's what they were
in
calling for.
McAllen, Texas. Video shows a door officers say was hit during the exchange. Border Patrol and local police say they returned fire, killing that man. Reports say he was carrying multiple weapons, including an assault rifle. ABC Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky's here with more on that. So, Aaron, what's the latest here?
Diane, this came early this morning Central Time when a man approached the U.S. Customs and Border Protection office in McAllen, Texas, ended up opening fire. You saw the door and the bullet hole in the glass. He was immediately engaged by Border Patrol and by local police in McAllen, who shot and killed the guy. He's been identified as 27-year-old Ryan Mosqueda. He has a Michigan address, but he was also reported missing just this morning from a local area in Texas. Police haven't quite figured out the nature of that missing persons report. The car he was driving had some words written on it in Latin. The folks in McAllen haven't been able to translate what they are. They don't quite know whether they were intending to send a message at Customs and Border Protection or if they had anything to do with this at all. They're still trying to sort through that. find out what this guy's motive was.
So any sense of that yet, or they still don't know?
No sense of motive just yet. They don't think there's any follow-on threat. So they believe this was isolated. This may have been targeted at the Customs and Border Protection Office there in McAllen. The FBI is going to take the lead, which indicates it's a little more than a local case, but they don't have any indication it goes beyond McAllen, Texas at this point.
Now, this is right on the border. It's pretty much across the street from the McAllen International Airport. So how fortified is this Border Patrol facility?
It's interesting that he picked this particular target. This is where the Border Patrol agents with the big guns hang out. So he was immediately engaged. In the course of the gunfire, a couple of Border Patrol officers were injured, according to the authorities. One McAllen police officer who was involved got shot in the knee. He'll be fine, but it gives you a sense of the response. McAllen Airport flights were halted for a minute till they figured out that this was aimed at the CBP office there. So it was a pretty big response. Shooter is dead, and a couple of officers wounded.
All right, Aaron Katersky, thank you.
Well, that's what they're just calling for.
Police say a man has been shot and killed after opening fire.
Okay. All right. Well. Well, all right. So it's all Trump's fault that several people died, or that so many people died. You know, he wasn't cutting out waste and abuse. He cut off very needed systems that would have saved these people. So, all right. Well, bunch of sad news. I mean, I don't know what's more heartbreaking: all the stuff that with the flooding, how many people have died, or the DOJ saying that there is no Epstein client list. I don't know. It's just all bullcrap. I'll call it there, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Some truths will be hilarious, others painful. But we must be free. We must break into the DisAlgorithm.